Hello, everyone. This is Roosevelt Glover, your pastor coach, and I want to come to you today to talk to you about our theme for the year. Our theme for the year is actually coming from the book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 22. And it talks about how Isaac dug in that land, and as he dug, he said that God had made room for us, and Rehoboth means open space. So I want to let you know that our church, the Bridge Church, is declaring that this is the year that Lord make room for you. So in order for God to make room for you, first thing I want to tell you is that sometimes you have to go through the process. The process that we have to go through in order for God to make room for us. Sometimes it might be a process in our finance. Sometimes it might be a process in our ministry or even relationship that we're going through. But the Lord want to make room for you. And sometimes when the Lord makes room for you, you have to go through some opposition. You have to go through some trial. You have to go through some training in order to get through the process what God is trying to get you to. So today, even though I told you our key verses come from Genesis chapter 26 and verse 22, I want to read the book of James. James is actually the half brother of Jesus. When James was writing to the Jewish believers, they were scattered. They was going through persecution. They were going through trial. They were going through struggle. So when James writes, he immediately lets us know that trouble sometimes is a part of the norm. You're going to go through some trouble. But James starts off by saying this in verse 2. He said, "Brother, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation." James said, not if, but when. When you fall into diverse temptation, James tells us how we are to look at it. He said, count it all joy. James is not saying that trials are joyful, but he just saying have joy in it. Matter of fact, you can read Philippians, which talks about Paul is talking about joy. Now we hear James talking about joy. And James is actually, like I said, he's a half brother of Jesus. But James is not writing from a theological perspective, but James is writing as a pastor to his members, encouraging them, as I would say, coaching them through the trials that they're going through. He goes on to say, he said, but let patience have its perfect work, entire wanting nothing. So James was let them know that they were going to go through something. They were going to have to trial. But he was saying in the midst of that, let that trial have its perfect work. Mean to come to maturity, mean to come to full growth. So James was letting them know that you will go through some trials, but these trials are not to destroy you, but these trials are to build you, to mold you, to make you. We always say this, and I hear people say it all the time, faith that has not been tested is faith that cannot be trusted. So James is letting them know, as a follower of Christ, you will go through some things. They was going through financial trials. They was going through difficult during that season that they was in. But James was saying that when you can't count, James was saying this is like a mathematical term. Count means to consider, to evaluate, to make a decision through what you're going through. He said that count. But then he goes on to tell you how to count. He said count it all joy. And joy is not just an emotion. It's a spiritual perspective that I'm going to have joy in the midst of that. In the book of Acts, Paul says like this to King Agrippa. He said, "Oh, King Agrippa, I think myself happy." So James is also letting us know he's not saying that the trial are joyful, but he's letting us know to have joy in those trials because it's who you are, it's what you made. The trial that we're going through is something to test us, to mold us, to make us into the image that God is doing. So I just want to encourage somebody. What you're going through right now, God is just enlarging your territory. God is using this. He's going to make room for you. But before God can make room for you, He has to process you. So my word today is this right here. God is going to make room, but you have to go through the process. If you don't mind, just say that with me. You're going to have to go through the process. So the thing I want you to look at as we look at this tape is this right here. What trial may be God using to enlarge you? What trial may you going through right now that God is trying to use to make room for you? And how do patience work in it? How is patience working in your life right now? Are you just saying that you got patience? Matter of fact, this is the test that you're going through right now. When I'm telling you that God is going to make room for you, you have to go through the process. And the process sometimes will stretch you, but it's making you into that man or that woman of God that God is trying to make you into. I just want to encourage you today that God will enlarge you this year, but you have to go through the process. And like I said, sometimes we don't like the process. We don't like the spreadsheet. But James says this right here. He said, when, not if, when you go through trials and tests. God is using this to mature you. Years ago, when I first started pastoring, one of the key things that I said, you know what? I don't want to deal with no trouble. I don't want no strife. But guess what? That first year, it was all that I had. Because God knew that I needed that to grow me. And maybe you're watching me today and you don't understand what you're going through right now. God is just enlarging your territory. But in order to enlarge you, God got to process you. And so what you're going through right now is a process. So I just want to pray right now that know that what God is doing, that He's trying to develop you. So God is going to make room for you this year, but before He makes room, He got to start to develop it.